What's going on, y'all? It's J Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. As I said I would, bringing you guys my Nexus predictions for this weekend's URL event. I have it in the title as Nexus 2. It is the second Nexus card. It has no numbers on it. I think as long as they're throwing these cards, they're just going to call every one of them Nexus. But for the sake of organization, you know, it's the second one that they've had. And I will say the main event is by far the best battle I think they've put. It's only been 2 cards worth of battles, right? But Trez versus Av, top tier action. Very excited to talk about that, and that is the key of this card. But it has one more battle than the first card. There is 5 battles here, so should be a quick one running through predictions. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we could start with the opening battle of the card with 2 of the newer URL talents going at it, Footz versus Wusa. And I gotta say, I'm excited to see Footz perform. It has been over a year since he's been on URL, and I mean, I feel like out of the top 12, talent-wise, he's at least in the top 4, if not higher than that, and his footage backs that up. His Souffleur battle on Volume 10 is fire. His Jerry West battle on Outside is fire. His Lou Castro battle he did really good in. Even if he hasn't been on URL in over a year, his Elijah Straight battle is one of the top 10 battles I've seen in 2024, and that's in a world where there's a ton, way too many just puncher versus puncher battles. It almost gets redundant, and they still found a way to have one of the more impactful battles with doing just that on a smaller league. So very impressed with Footz, and I have just been waiting to see him back on URL, and he gets another, you know what I'm saying, new guy in Wusa, who is a bit newer, right? Only 2 battles on URL. I'm gonna be real. Good in the Fonz battle, right? I think his second is good, but I had him losing 3-0 to Fonz. You could say, hey, it's Fonz. We know how good Fonz is right now. Well, then he battled Souffleur Soul, and I had him losing 3-0 even more clear than that. So there's things about Wusa's style I actually like. If it was just off preference of style, there's some qualities that I would put him more in the top half of that top 12 in potential, but I got to see the potential, right? You got 2 battles on URL, and I personally don't have the guy winning around so far. So at the very least, I think this has to be his best performance yet. Has to have some type of impact here. So I think that I'm going to go Footz 2-1 clear. It could be a 30, but like I said, out of respect, motivation, I think you get one of the better Wusas, but Footz's style with the pockets too in that emptier Nexus room, he could have one of the better performances of the whole card. And then from there we have another of the original top 6, but that whole top 12 member in Klutz getting another top tier pen on his resume with a battle versus Danny Myers. And we all know Danny giving shots, it's just the nature of the game. And then with Klutz, he's already battled JC, Loso, Chilla, and that's just how it is, you know what I'm saying, with the newer pens, especially since usually the respected pens, like a Danny, like a JC, and etc., don't mind, you know what I'm saying, like giving shots abundantly, like I said. So a battle I really like, though. I think it could be competitively, I think it's the second best battle on the card. I'm actually a big fan of it. Klutz has made good footage so far versus the other pens. I really like Klutz versus JC. I had him winning that battle. I really like Chilla versus Klutz. I did have Klutz losing that, but I thought he was really good in that battle still. So I think this is going to be a really good battle too. Now, there is something, though, to be said about Danny's energy. You know, I'll say it. I did have Elijah Straight edging the victory versus Danny on King of the Dot. I know I'm in the minority with that. There's a lot of people that have Danny winning, and I can understand from that energy, you know what I'm saying, perspective, just that performative nature. It's just more in your face, and it makes everything a bit more impactful. And if you had him having success versus Elijah with that, I see a path here for him to do the same thing. Now, it being in an emptier room, right? I would say it takes a little bit away from that, but still not really, because we've seen Danny in an emptier room, right? Versus Arsenal, versus Drugs, versus Shotgun Shug, and he is smoking shit in those battles. So out of respect here, I am going to go Danny 2-1. I saw him be great in the UM2 tournament. You know, granted, he lost to Holmesy, but even that was a great battle. I don't like downing Klutz versus these other pens. Like I said, he's given me a good track record versus JC, versus Chilla Jones. And I haven't been the biggest fan of Danny's 2024 work, to be honest with you, but I just think this situation, they've been going back and forth for a minute. I think this will be one of Danny's better performances of the year, and I actually am going Danny 2-1 going into this battle. Then we got Lou Castro versus Swervo, which was actually Swervo's call out at the end of the first Nexus stream where he battled O-Red. Pretty decent battle, too. I edged him to victory. And that's how, I mean, you get to this battle. Lou Castro's last time on URL was versus Swamp on Homecoming 3. bigger opponent, bigger situation, which makes sense. Lou has been in a few big spots on URL, but that was obviously not a very good battle for those that remember it. And when it comes to predicting this battle, there's really just two factors, things that I'm even looking at here. I am going to say off rip, I am taking Swervo 2-1 in this battle. When it's Lou Castro versus mid-tier talent and up for the past couple of years, I just tend to go the other way with the prediction, and a lot of times the results speak to that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we know the reputation Lou's gotten, and his winning percentage over the last 3 or 4 years at times is shocking. However, I know he's been better on the smaller leagues as of recent. He's got a run in a sense, but I beat D Flames, beat GE, beat The Example, and listen, these are not crazy names by any means, but it does show a level of consistency in there that you still have to give some credit to, while on the flip side, I'm looking at Swervo in this battle to be 100% clean. Now, he's had stumbling issues. Even in his breakout performance versus Cortez, he kind of choked in that third. He stumbled versus Franchise on No, most notably. He's terrible in that opener, completely dropped the ball in that situation. And even though he beat Oren, in my opinion, there's a little bit of stumbling, but more like remembering his rhymes as he goes, which is not as bad as the others, but I should not compare your fuck-ups. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if it's not as bad as the others. I think he should be 1,000% clean this battle. He's been getting plates, and for me, that's the most important thing here. Is I think material-wise, he's going to be fine, because I think he's been fine material-wise, but if there's any hiccups in this one, or you're saying any lack of fluidity, I think you have to have a serious look about how much do you book a guy like this if he shows this habit, even with the talent he has. I've been a big Swervo believer, but for me, if he's not 100% clean all 3 rounds here, even if he was to win the battle, I think that would be very disappointing to see. And then from there, outside the main event, you got one more battle with Arsenal versus Jackboy Maine, which I'm sure will have some ridiculous disrespect and near cringy qualities to it at times. Obviously, we know what Arsenal is. He is disrespecting battle rap. He is the logo of it. And Jackboy, that has become a big part of his style, I feel like, as time has went on. And both of them can go a little overboard with it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just, I'm a little worried about the matchup in that sense that they do things very similar, and sometimes that's all you need. It'll emphasize the strengths of each battler. I also think that Arsenal, in kind of an emptier room like this, has the ability to rap straight through his raps, kind of like he did in 2020 when he beat official Jerry West. So maybe that'll give him an avenue to be good. Obviously, Jack was good on the first Nexus card versus Loso, and he called out Arsenal as well, so another call out fulfilled. But the big issue here is Arsenal giving a fuck, to be totally honest with you. There's so many battles. I'm not even going to name them. I'll get a headache, but you have to be living under a rock or a casual battle rap fan to not know at this point that Arsenal just gives out wins. There's battles he just doesn't show up for. So I don't know if the Jackboy battle will be any different than the other ones that he didn't show up for. So I'm going to go with Jackboy to win going in. However, it makes me a little bit worried about the footage going in. And then you got Av versus Chef Trez, which is just incredible. And listen, this is a pretty solid card so far. Matchup or two that I like, some lopsided matchups, and then it feels like it's at a whole other level when you get to Av and Chef Trez. And I'll tell you why I like this battle. I'll tell you really simple why I like it. It's 2 of the top 10 rappers in the world right now rapping versus each other. Sometimes it's got to be that easy, man. Sometimes just take one of the best versus one of the other best and make it happen. These two got a lot of respect for each other. They've been talking about for at least over a year now, saying when are we going to lock in, kind of shopping the battles out to leagues. And this is going to be a barfest, with that respect level and just the nature of their styles. I'm not expecting angles, personals, right? We know what type of battle this is, and we know that both of them can go up there versus top tier competition. What Av's done in 2024, Chef Trez was a top 3 rapper, landing top 3 in Cody last year, and Av is that this year, and he's probably not 3 at the moment. I probably firmly have him number 2 in the race right now. He's been clean all year, and he's coming off of incredible hollow performance, but Trez is going to be debatably the most difficult fight he's had. It's not going to match up to the moment, the god tier, what he means legacy-wise and the way Av completed that fight, but Chef Trez is going to be right there fighting with him. I'm expecting this to be very competitive, and if you look at Chef Trez, he was top 3 last year. I think he's a top 10 guy again this year. I don't think he's really lost much of that momentum. And with that said, this has all the elements. You look at 2 of the best in form at the moment. I think that this will be a top 10 battle of 2024. I think it has the potential to, but I will go as far to say I think it will be, which is what makes it such a pain in the ass to predict, because my big thing with Trez is that for most of his career, he was good, very good, but I thought versus top tier comp, while he had moments, he wasn't always competitive, at least not consistently competitive. That's changed over the last about year and a half, 2 years. John battle, twerk battle, you know what I'm saying? Clips battle, I could go on and on. He's been overly competitive, he's been winning most of them. But with that, the form Av has been in, like I said, like a top 2 or 3 guy right now, the mission he's on in 2024, and I think how this will help his year, because a top battle with Chef Trez is a great piece to that overall 2024 case, and makes what's already going to be a compelling top 3, you know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of talk on Rock and Warren to talk. When it comes to Av and John, a lot of people are starting to put them in that convo too, and battles like this reaching its full potential is what closes that gap for some people. So with that being said, I do have it being easily battle of the card, one of the better battles of the year, and I'm going with Av 2-1 edge going into the battle. And that is my full predictions here for the Nexus card going down this weekend. You know, you guys let me know in the comment section down below. What do you like about the card? Who are your winners? And particularly with Av and Chef Trez, who do you think is going to win that battle? And do you also think, you know what I'm saying, it's going to reach that top 10 status? Because I think by the end of the night, you always have a key performance or two that might shock someone or might just stand out. But I think that no matter what, all eyes will be on Av versus Chef Trez. And the result of this will have like kind of immediate effects on 2 of the better years that we're seeing right now in 2024. But it's been J Small Reviews again, y'all. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, man. Peace.